Sit back, relax, and enjoy as Don Tony gives you news and reviews from AEW, NXT, and indie wrestling too.
Know what's happening in the world of wrestling without the hate and clickbait.
It's Wednesday night, Don-O-Mite.
And now, your host, Don Tony.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is Wednesday, March 30th, 2022. Welcome to this edition of Wednesday Night Dynamite. I am Don Tony, and yes, I said afternoon. I am so sorry for anybody who is expecting a live evening recap of Dynamite and NXT and stand and deliver predictions. Plans changed. And this is like take 3. It's weird. When I go live, I could do it with one take, never have any issues at all. When I pre-record, I start screwing up. This was a filled espresso. It was almost a triple espresso. I've already drank it. I'm like this, even though you can't really see it. But I've been flubbering. I just did 20 minutes of the predictions. And when we got to the tag title match, I actually called the Creed brothers the Brooks brothers. Wasn't there cough medicine named like Brooks brothers or cough drops or something? I could swear there was. But then I started doing it again, and I looked at the time. I was like, wait a minute, in 5 minutes we could have the NXT rating. I might as well just wait. So it is take 3. So why am I not doing a Dynamite recap tonight? I promise you, I didn't wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I don't have my period, and I'm not in a bad mood. But something today with AEW Dynamite, maybe because of everything that's coming up in wrestling with WrestleMania weekend. But as I'm looking at this card and I looked at a tweet that AEW wrote today, I was just like, nah, man, I don't think I feel like staying up until 2 o'clock in the morning between doing the show, editing, uploading, posting, and then trying to pass out, for what we're getting tonight on Dynamite. And I want to make a disclaimer. Yes, I'm recording this before Dynamite, and I expect a lot of what we watch tonight to be fun. I expect some of those matches to be great. But 2 things really rubbed me the wrong way today with Dynamite. Number 1 is the grossly predictable outcomes. Now, I don't mind it when the people in the ring are like fantasy matches of mine, or 2 people that I really enjoy that I don't mind seeing them face it. Look, Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles. The winner goes to face Edge at Mania. We knew AJ Styles was facing Edge. We knew that they were not going to deviate from it, so we knew the outcome. But we still wanted to watch it anyway because we both, we like both AJ Styles and Seth Rollins, and they could tear it up. No disrespect, but I love Max Caster, and I'm a big fan of the Acclaimed, but he's taking on CM Punk tonight. You really think Punk's going to lose? Bryan Danielson's taking on Wheeler Yuta. All right, Wheeler Yuta's grown on me the last 2 weeks, but we think that Wheeler Yuta's going to lose? Jon Moxley is taking on Jay Lethal. Unless we get a rare count-out or disqualification, that is asinine. Because number 1, they're afraid to make Jon Moxley lose, especially just coming back after his battles, and I wouldn't make him lose either. But Jay Lethal's fighting in a high-profile match of Ring of Honor Super Card of Honor in 2 days. And you're going to have a high-profile loss right before then? Darby Allin versus Andrade? I mean, I think that could go either way, but for the most part, I think most people think that Darby's going to get a win. FTR versus the Gun Club? Seriously? And the Bunny taking on a new signee, mystery signee, and this is going to be a qualifying match for the Owen Hart Cup. Now, I've said this several times already. Whoever this signee is, not only has to be somebody well-liked by the fans, but has to be respectable. Because Martha Hart signed off on all of this. So if you're going to have a cup, you're not going to have a mystery signee and possibly the person to be the first qualifier for the cup to be someone that is disliked or not well respected in the wrestling world. But you look at those matches from top to bottom. Will I watch Dynamite? Absolutely. But I'll watch a match or two tomorrow. I'll watch a match Friday or Saturday. I'll catch one early next week. If I have some extra time, maybe I sit down and watch the whole thing in one shot. But even with that, I said, DT, do the live show anyway. Big deal, this and that. Then I went to social media. I don't tweet all that much. I don't even go on Twitter all that much because it just pisses me off. But I decided, let me go see what's going on. And I saw a tweet that AEW posted today. Once I saw this, I was like, nah, man, ain't no fucking way I'm doing a recap of Dynamite tonight. They actually posted this, everybody. The Undisputed Elite Championship Celebration. Now, I don't have any problem with the storyline. Adam Cole stealing Hangman Page's belt, fine with it. Red Dragon stealing Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy's belts, I'm fine with it. And them thinking that they're the champions, even though they're not, I'm fine with that also. But to see AEW actually draft up a banner and putting this that, you think about, see, this is the thing with Tony Khan, and this is why I always said that Tony Khan ultimately, I think, will become a character and could turn heel. And who knows, maybe he could try to have his own faction in AEW, which is, I know it's stupid when you think about it, but if you think of Tony Khan and how he always insists this and always insists that, and Tony Khan refuses this, the Young Bucks super kick someone and get fined and this and that. And that Twitter account is promoting 3 guys celebrating that they stole other people's belts. I saw that and I'm like, okay, at least make it look like Adam Cole and Red Dragon made this banner up. They professionally make it themselves and they retweet it on their own social media accounts. Ah, man. That's it. I get a good night's sleep tonight. I still do predictions for Stand and Deliver. We get into a couple little tidbits as well, and I'm out of here. So that's why I am here. So now, before we get into Stand and Deliver predictions, and let's be honest, NXT is developmental. The ratings came in already today for yesterday's show, March 30th, and it was March 29th. There was 626,000 viewers. Same viewership as last week. Say what you want about NXT. I know that there's people that are still in denial about the black and gold being gone. I know that there's people that deliberately act ignorant so they have a reason to bash WWE and NXT. But I think we have all realized by now, it's been said in stock meetings. It's been said by Vince. It's been said by Triple H. It's been said over and over again. WWE realized that the black and gold and the wrestlers they had there were not going to be the ones that were going to main event WrestleMania years from now. All right. Creative cannot, pull a rabbit out of their ass. You look at Keith Lee and Adam Cole and others who have left NXT, and I'm not crapping on them at all. I enjoy them all. But are they 2.5 million viewer wrestlers? Are they wrestlers that could sell out WrestleMania? And I know what you're all going to say. Well, that's on WWE Creative. Well, yeah, to a certain extent, but the wrestlers themselves, they went to AEW, ultimate creative freedom, and they can't even break 1 million. Unless there's crazy shit that has to be teased or a surprise. So a lot of these wrestlers that are gone now are pretty much proving WWE's point that they are stars. But they got to create stars that could main event Mania down the line and draw millions and tens of millions of dollars. And WWE realized that, no disrespect against the Nightmare Factory, no disrespect against any wrestling school, going on in the United States and beyond. But WWE cannot keep the old black and gold going and hope that other schools develop these larger-than-life, gigantic stars of tomorrow that WWE feel that they could kind of like give a new coat of paint on, wax it up a little bit, and there you go. They realize that if we are going to, meaning them, going to create the larger-than-life main event stars of tomorrow, those $1 million wrestlers, we have to do it ourselves. And that's why NXT went full-blown developmental. Anybody at this point that still tries to sell you that WWE tried to kill Triple H's baby and ruin his legacy and caused him a heart attack, trying to get him sick, you realize that it was all agenda-based bullshit. They just did not like WWE's new direction. And as a result, they tried to create a lot of fake news, which has not only been proven to be false. You look at NXT's ratings in the last 6 weeks, they have put on excellent content for developmental, excellent content. So the only match that took place yesterday that had effects on NXT Stand and Deliver was the three-way, the last chance match between Cameron Grimes, Roderick Strong, and A-Kid. The winner of that match gets the final spot in the ladder match at Stand and Deliver for Carmelo Hayes' North American Championship, and that was won by Cameron Grimes. He beat A-Kid and Roderick Strong. I tell you, we did the watch party yesterday, and everybody in the chat room loved that Cameron Grimes won. Cameron Grimes is over with the fans, very much underutilized since the transition to developmental. So, I think Cameron Grimes may end up being one of the last people you see walk up that ladder and almost grab the North American Championship, only to be shortchanged. You kind of feel that way. Fans will get behind him. He gets the last spot, and good for him. Other match results from yesterday: Imperium over LA Knight and MSK. We wanted to hear the chop heard all around the world. We wanted Gunther to chop LA Knight like he did Duke Hudson last week. Didn't happen. They ended up brawling into the locker room, and they were not seen at the very end. Ivy Nile over Tiffany Stratton. Ivy Nile is coming along really, really nicely. Tiffany Stratton, some gymnastic moves, but, she's got a little ways to go. Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen over Legado del Fantasma. Von Wagner over Bodie Hayward. We had, I can't remember her name, but they had a woman standing at ringside, just scoping out Von Wagner. And it was funny because Jacket Time, for some reason, was at ringside also. And after Von Wagner won, he threw Ikemen Hero into the ring. And I said it yesterday. If you go back and you watch the clip, it was funny because they took scissors and they cut a deep cut in Ikemen's jacket. And when Von Wagner pulled off his jacket, Von Wagner's trying to find the sweet spot, the area where they pre-cut it. And you look at it, because he paused, and it was so awkward because when he paused before ripping the jacket, he's holding it, and you could see the slice. And I was like, oh, man, that looked cheesy, but he tore the jacket in half. What else do we get? Joe Gacy over Draco Anthony. Joe Gacy tried to do it to Jerry, when Tajiri goes upside down against the rope. We've seen other wrestlers attempt it also. He did it yesterday, and honestly, Joe Gacy doesn't need that. Look at his persona. Look at his attitude. Look at everything about him. You don't need to be doing no Tajiri shit off the fucking rope. I know it's impressive, and I know some people who get a kick out of it, but he just needs to be more in the psychological department. Nikita Lyons over Sloane Jacobs, and after that match was over, Last Legend reminds Nikita we have unfinished business that will commence next week after Stand and Deliver. And as we said, Cameron Grimes over Roderick Strong and A-Kid to advance to Stand and Deliver. So, Stand and Deliver will start at 1 p.m. Eastern this Saturday, April 2nd, on Peacock. The event should end around 4 p.m. Eastern. I will be here giving you results and my views on the event. The pre-show is a half an hour. And, as I was saying yesterday with Mish on Patreon, since we've had a couple of Saudi Arabia events that happen in the early afternoon, I acclimated to that very well. So I actually it will not feel that odd that NXT is starting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday. It's just going to be rough because that'll end around 4. You do a recap, which will be, it should be less than an hour. And then that's 5 o'clock. 1 hour later is the pre-show for WrestleMania. So it's going to, once it starts, it don't stop. But I hope you check out NXT Stand and Deliver. Just keep in mind developmental. Some wrestlers are obviously much more developed, but others, you give them a little bit of a break. But I'm going to give you my quick predictions for the card and a couple of thoughts on it. First off, first match, we have Imperium defending the NXT Tag Team Championships against the Creed Brothers and MSK. Now, we know that the Creed Brothers, Diamond Mine, their locker room has been trashed. Yesterday on NXT, they got a cryptic text message. And look, a lot of people are wondering who is going to be that team. I heard Gallus a while back. Don't know if that's the case. I know a lot of people have different ideas as far as who it's going to be. I personally think whoever it is may, in fact, show up at Stand and Deliver, and they will likely cause them not to win the tag team championships. MSK, I know a lot of people think MSK is ready for the main roster, and I don't disagree with you. I just think for that really talented babyface tag team, high flyer, they are the elite, and that's no pun intended, in NXT. And I don't know if I would graduate them to the main roster. Some people think it's going to happen. Regardless, I think Imperium retains their titles at Stand and Deliver, and I think the Creed Brothers were put in this match solely to be screwed out of the win. And I think this will precede the Creed Brothers to have a feud with whoever is, messing around with them. I think it's going to be a great match. And obviously Imperium and MSK are going to steal the show. They have put on phenomenal performances in the past. But in the end, I do believe that Imperium will retain. Next. Okay, I have a lot to say about this. Toxic Attraction defending the women's tag team championships. Yes, Gigi Dolan is good to go for Stand and Deliver. They are defending against Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. Now, I don't mind the reuniting of Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. They did that well yesterday on NXT. Raquel Gonzalez, getting involved, attacking Toxic Attraction, coming to the save of Dakota Kai, and Dakota Kai getting very emotional and, literally leaping into the arms of Raquel Gonzalez. It was cool. It was cool. No question. My problem with this is the Dusty Tag Team Tournament Cup, the Dusty Classic. You just did a women's tournament to determine not only the winners of the Dusty Classic, but who was going to go on to challenge for the tag titles. Now, remember, you had the Toxic Attractions Lounge, and it was focused more on Gigi Dolan and JC Jane because the winners of the Dusty Classic were going to take on Toxic Attraction for the tag titles. So what ends up happening, we get Kaylee Ray and Io Shirai win the tournament, but they're not going for the tag titles. Now, a week ago, word around the campfire and some legitimate sources also confirmed that Gigi Dolan was dealing with an injury. And WWE felt that they would rather have the winners of the Dusty Classic both compete for the heavyweight title. Okay, fine. But what happens the following week? Dakota Kai, goes at it with Toxic Attraction, gets beat down. Raquel Gonzalez makes the save. They reunite. Toxic Attraction, when they got out of Dodge, out of the ring, they left their belts there. So Kai and Gonzalez are holding the belts up. And next thing you know, the kickoff match for Stand and Deliver is this. And I'm like, why didn't you just have them win the Dusty Cup in the first place? Seriously, why do that tournament with tag teams? Just have the tag team winner fight for a heavyweight title, and one half of the loser in the final gets the title shot anyway. I know everybody loves, including me, Shawn Michaels' booking in NXT since Triple H, fell ill. But, this was kind of messy. And look, in developmental, it's okay to be messy. It's okay to be experiment. You look at Mei Yang. She goes from Karen Q to Mi Yang to, Sleepyhead. Experiment, tweak things, test it. That's what developmental is for. But still, that whole tournament really was kind of shitty. Let's be honest. You should have just had Raquel Gonzalez, and they were teasing the reuniting of those two a month ago. They should have just reunited a month ago, put them in the tournament, let them win the tournament. They go on for the pay-per-view. And then you could have easily figured out some scenario where Io Shirai and Kaylee Ray, they could have lost in the tournament, and you could have Mandy Rose laughing at them, and they both end up getting part of the title match at Stand and Deliver. All right, moving right along. The match I want to see. Gunther versus LA Knight. We were talking about this yesterday. Is Gunther losing a little bit too much weight? I'm not saying he looks unhealthy. I mean, Gunther is in great shape. But I don't know, there's something about his physique that, I don't know. Something I don't like about his physique. But he's still obviously a menace. The crowd freaking loves Gunther. And funny, Wade Barrett yesterday made a mistake, called him Walter. Hey, nothing wrong with that. But I know for all of us, we just want to see this match so we get at least one of these. Absolutely. I think LA Knight is looking forward to it. I think he is just psyched, like, give it to me, man. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me. This match is going to be excellent. It's going to be some gaga also, but I think in the end, Gunther gets the win. Even though he's technically a heel, the crowd is behind him. I have no problem with the name change. I've said that before. I just want to see this guy get pushed and be used the right way. I really don't have much of a complaint so far, but I think in this match, Gunther gets the win. A lot of people also think that LA Knight is main roster bound as well. So a loss to Gunther, I don't think would hurt LA Knight all that much, except for the chest area. So Gunther will be the one, I believe, getting the victory. So moving on along, we have the NXT North American Championship ladder match. Carmelo Hayes defends the championship against Grayson Waller. Solo Sikoa, Cameron Grimes, Santos Escobar. Nice way to close out NXT yesterday. They were all brawling in the ring. Here's the interesting thing. Oh, holy cow, I just realized something. My sincere apologies. Because I was thinking about it just now. I'm like, we need a title change. Don't we? Don't we need a title change at Stand and Deliver? And I'm thinking to myself, of all the championships, what's the one championship that could change hands? And it's not this match, by the way, but I didn't give you a prediction for Toxic Attraction versus Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. I honestly think change the belts. Give them to Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. You're not doing anything else with Raquel Gonzalez right now. She's not even fighting for heavyweight title. Of course, we talked a couple of moments earlier as far as, the way they handled the Dusty Cup. But Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, they reunited, give them the tag titles. So I'm sorry. I mean, I know we got a little off track talking about the tournament and how shoddy they handled it. But yeah, no. I mean, I feel we need at least one title change at Stand and Deliver. And I think it should be the women's tag team championships, because this match, I do not see anything going down except for Melo to retain the NXT North American Championship. When they first signed this guy, you will remember that night that we covered it. I said, this guy, keep him on your radar. This guy is going to be the next big star to come to the main roster. Maybe not the next one that will be brought up, but the next one that you just look at and you know that he's got it. I personally don't think it's time for him to go to the main roster. You know, he's definitely in a league of his own right now, but there's no reason to change that anytime soon. You look at that main roster and how a bunch of people have that stranglehold right now. Sure, he probably would have some high-profile matches, but would he actually break through? I don't think it's the right time to bring him up to the main roster. And Santos Escobar, definitely worthy of that championship, had it before. Grayson Waller, doing a good job. I don't think, it's necessary to put a belt on him right now. Solo Sikoa, I feel the same way. He is still trying to find his footing there. And Cameron Grimes, as much as we like Cameron Grimes, I don't think him being that champion, the focal point of that division for the NXT North American Championship, I don't think he's the right person either. So I'm going with Carmelo Hayes to retain that championship. I don't think there's any question he will end up winning that. Maybe Trick Williams screws Cameron Grimes out of the win, and then Hayes climbs and grabs the belt. I do not see a title change going down there. Okay, next. Hey, how you doing? Hey. Tony D'Angelo versus Tommaso Ciampa. Why was it news yesterday that it was going to be Ciampa's last match in NXT? We talked about that a month ago. Why? Because it said in a promo, people didn't. Where's everybody's sources of connections? This was pretty cool yesterday when Ciampa cut his promo and then he flipped the folding chair around and put it against the gate. 9/9/2015 is when he started at NXT. April 2nd, 2022 is Saturday. That's when he finishes with NXT. He's had an awesome run in NXT. I'm a little concerned about the main roster because I don't know exactly where he's going to fit in. But, it was time. You see them with developmental. There's not a crop of people that he could feud with for an extended period of time. This match is going to be emotional for a lot of people. Just keep in mind, he's not retiring. He's still going to be under the WWE banner, but he will be used on Raw instead of NXT. Now, the big question is, does he do the favors on the way out? And my honest opinion is yes. Some people think that someone else is going to appear to cause Ciampa the loss. I'm not so sure about that. Tony D'Angelo right now, doing a good job. They've kind of pulled back on his character a little bit in his in-ring work, which is the right way to go. A lot of people don't realize this guy don't even have 30 matches under his belt yet. I still remember when he had his NXT debut and people were photoshopping him with the belt. I'm like, motherfuckers had one match. All right. Yeah. You're having an orgasm. And don't get me wrong. I freaking love the character. But hey, Tony, there's only one Don Tony when it comes to wrestling stuff. There's only one Don Tony. You hear me? Get it through that thick skull of yours. There's only one Don Tony. I'm just joking around. I love the character. Him being the Don of NXT. Yeah, I could see Tommaso Ciampa giving him that win. I think that is a good victory for Tony D'Angelo to have under his belt as he develops further and gets some more wins and fights, high caliber opponents down the line. Looking back and him having a good victory over Tommaso Ciampa is the right way to go. Of course, after Ciampa's loss, Ciampa will be in the ring. It'll get a little emotional. Crowd will give him a standing ovation, and he will, have glassy eyes, which he should. and he will go out NXT proud and have made NXT a hell of a lot better. Even behind the scenes as well. A lot of people don't realize how much advice Tommaso Ciampa has given some of those young stars of tomorrow. You know what's cool also? A lot of those young stars of tomorrow approach Tommaso Ciampa. What do you think about this? Could you watch my match? Tell me what you think about this. Yeah, it happens. That's why sometimes you can't just look at the person on the camera. You got to realize what they also do behind the scenes. And Ciampa has been fabulous for NXT. That doesn't mean that he's going to win on Saturday. Tommaso Ciampa Saturday sleeps with the fishes. Tony D'Angelo gets the win. All right. We got 2 matches left. Mandy Rose defending the NXT. Oops. Wrong one. That's better. Mandy Rose defending the NXT Women's Championship against Io Shirai, Cora Jade, Kaylee Ray. Now, this is going to be an excellent match. It's going to be another stepping stone for Cora Jade. In my opinion, Cora Jade has 0 shot of winning that championship. There's no rush. I see people saying, give it to Cora. She's on fire right now. She's still very, very young in her career. Even if you think she's ready for it, I don't think that kind of pressure is beneficial for Cora Jade right now to hold that championship and be the focal point of the women's division. So Cora Jade, I do not see winning. She will win even though she loses because she will gain a lot of experience in that match. She's got some excellent opponents in there. Mandy Rose, obviously not on the level wrestling-wise, talent-wise as Io Shirai or Kaylee Ray, but Mandy Rose is no, slouch either. So Cora Jade, she will look like $1 million in that ring, but she does not get it. Kaylee Ray having a record run in NXT UK is impressive, and she is excellent, but I don't think she has hit that pinnacle yet in the United States under the regular NXT banner. So I do not think at this point you put that championship in Kaylee Ray's hands. That leaves Io Shirai. And look, we all know Io Shirai is probably the most talented person on that roster. She is spectacular. A lot of people would love to see her go to the main roster. There is at least a dozen women that people would love to see her go up against. The problem is with the main roster, and I've said it before, she's not going to leapfrog over at least 8 of those women's wrestlers. You actually look at Raw or SmackDown, that would be an awful lot of women for her to leapfrog to make it to the mountaintop and be champion on the main roster. She has been an excellent champion for NXT in the past, but right now, having her with the championship makes everything very, it would not be level. That was the problem with Asuka for a very long time. They made her so dominant. Remember the feud that she had with Carmelo? They had to have, all that horrendous storyline, attached to it because Carmelo could not beat Asuka one-on-one. So you had to have a whole bunch of bullshit attached to it. And that was all designed to try to bring Asuka down on a similar level as others. And if you give Io Shirai that championship belt back, now it feels like, okay, the most dominating top women's performer in NXT has her belt back. Now it feels like she's all the way up here and everybody else is over here. So at least with Mandy Rose, you get that suspension of disbelief that she could lose against anybody at any given time. Her character and her persona, she will sneak out a win. Don't be surprised if somebody hits a finisher tomorrow and right before they cover their opponent, Mandy Rose throws that person out of the ring and she steals the pin. That's what a lot of chicken shit champions do. You know, Becky Lynch did it. We've had many champions do that, where someone's about to win and they get thrown out of the ring and someone else steals the victory. That's the right way to go. It's a very creative way to do it. Wouldn't be surprised if we see Mandy Rose do that again. But I do believe Mandy Rose is going to retain that championship. So now we go to the main event. Dolph Ziggler versus Bron Breakker. Yesterday on NXT, they did a video package for Dolph Ziggler. Looked like $1 million. I know Dolph Ziggler is not liked by many of you out there, but I have always professed my appreciation for Dolph Ziggler. Is he on an AJ Styles level? No, of course not. But Dolph Ziggler is one of the most consistent, reliable, talented, can still perform at a top level. One of their most reliable, if I dare even say one of their lower card MVPs of WWE. That guy has put on performance after performance. Sure, the way he has won and the way his character has gone over the years, a lot of people don't like the guy. I appreciate everything that he does. And what I have said all along, you have Mandy Rose, AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler. You want to have anybody else from the main roster, Rey Mysterio, anybody show up in NXT. I know the catchy tweet is, oh, I thought this was developmental. Ha, 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 ha. No, man. You look at that Bron Breakker interview. Bron Breakker, and all he kept saying was, man, I am soaking in so much knowledge from Dolph Ziggler, from Robert Roode, even Tommaso Ciampa. He says, they are helping me in more ways than anybody could imagine. Those wrestlers coming in are helping the stars of tomorrow. Rey coming in, even for one night, and I expect we will get a Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar match. That's more of a fantasy match than actually helping Santos. But you have veteran stars. AJ shows up for Grayson Waller. That helps Grayson Waller. So that very catchy, tweet that you could write mocking the division, there is a much deeper importance involved here. And Dolph Ziggler did nothing but help Bron Breakker over the last, 6 weeks, whatever the time has been. And this is WrestleMania weekend. And although Dolph Ziggler has done a great job as NXT champion, and it's a nice little notch under his belt, it's still under the WWE banner. I think Bron Breakker gets his WrestleMania moment. Bron Breakker will defeat Dolph Ziggler for that championship. I don't know if Tommaso Ciampa will, neutralize Robert Roode, because I think once Ciampa loses his match and he goes to the back, I don't think we'll see Ciampa again. But someone is going to have to neutralize Robert Roode. If Robert Roode is there, and I mean, maybe he's not. Maybe we'll get an interesting curveball and Dolph Ziggler comes out there alone. But I think Bron Breakker, he will get that win. Because if you remember how Dolph Ziggler won that didn't Dolph Ziggler do that? Didn't Bron get cheated out of the victory, that someone got thrown outside the ring and Dolph Ziggler went and stole the win? So, this was all a really nice storyline leading up to it. Kid, you haven't learned yet, kid. See, I could sneak a victory. I could do this. Kid, you got a lot to learn. And yes, it's a very short period of time. But Bron Breakker, defeating Dolph Ziggler, that Dolph Ziggler is going to make Bron look like $1 million. And Bron has absorbed all of that assistance. And it's going to show for this main event. Yes, I believe Bron Breakker will win. It'll be really cool if we get to see Rick and Scott there to celebrate with him. The night before we have the Hall of Fame ceremony and the Steiners are going in. So we have yet, as of this recording, we have yet to see if Scott Steiner, what he says, we talked about it earlier this week. His health issues have humbled him a little bit. But I hope we get that moment where we get to see not only Rick, but Scott celebrating with Bron Saturday afternoon when he regains the NXT championship. There's always that chance that we can end in controversy after Bron wins before he can really celebrate. Somebody comes out, attacks him, we go off the air. Somebody else, I'm not saying the title change or anything other than Bron getting it, but, they could do that. But I personally think you go off the air with Bron Breakker in the ring, celebrating, and if Rick and Scott could be there as well, I think that would be pretty damn cool. And I think there's a good possibility that'll happen. So that is your NXT Stand and Deliver predictions. It's kind of weird to do a show that's less than an hour. But, like I said this week, especially for this week, since we are doing a couple of additional shows, I want to keep these an hour or less because I don't want you to get overloaded with 15, 20 hours of content. So I think 45 minutes talking a little bit about NXT last night. Yes, I had to complain a little bit about Dynamite earlier, which like I said, it's going to be a good show. But for this, I wanted to focus on Stand and Deliver because they have done a pretty damn good job the last 4 to 6 weeks. And I'm looking forward to this event. I know some people are going to hate me for saying this. I'm looking more forward to Stand and Deliver than I am Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. No disrespect intended, but none of the matches there, with the exception of FTR versus the Briscoes, none of the other matches there really, really catch my eye. Are they going to be top quality? Of course. You'll probably see each one of them go 20 minutes. But, it's got to be a little bit of a connection there. And for hardcore Ring of Honor fans, there will be. For some AEW fans, there absolutely will be. But for the casual wrestling fan, I think that they are going to be interested mostly in the Briscoes versus FTR. And I think for some people, they may not even. Because as awesome as the Briscoes have been, other than WrestleMania weekends, do they on a consistent basis draw, even 1,000 plus at shows? We got to call it like it is. There are, as people have said over the years, indie darlings. There's been many indie darlings over the years in wrestling. But when you really dissect it and look at people individually, when you see people drawing 100 people, 300 people consistently, what does that say about the person? But I do believe it's going to be an awesome event for those that are going to tune in. They're absolutely going to love it. I don't know how much you're going to get the casual fan that's going to tune into ROH. But for me, I am definitely going to watch Stand and Deliver live on Saturday. I will be here right after the event to give you a quick review and recap. And don't forget again, this Thursday, March 31st, 9 p.m., I will be here for a special live episode giving you WrestleMania predictions. I did think about recording them in advance, but I said, we'll do it live because I definitely want to poll everybody who is live as well to allow them to give their predictions as well, because the chat transcripts do stay up there. So I know a lot of you would love to interact and give your thoughts and predictions as well. So everyone, it's been great. Kind of weird doing this on a Wednesday afternoon. It was not planned. I was up here at 12 today on lunch, and I did an updated video for anybody that wants to become a channel member here. And I went back to my office and there was nothing going on. And then I saw the AEW lineup and the tweet with that banner, the thumbnail teasing, the Undisputed Elite. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just record this earlier and take the night off and relax, get a good night's sleep, and we'll do it again Thursday at 9:00 for WrestleMania predictions. So everyone, if you enjoyed this, I would be very much appreciated if you would smash that like button. If you're not a subscriber yet, subscribe and hit the notifications, because if this catches on, I will do more pre-recorded videos, even if they're short, if there's anything special that we need to talk about. But that all is on you. if you show, that you want it, then I will be more than happy to do it. So everyone, be well. All the best. Post your comments. Feel free to post your predictions in the comment section. And if you end up being right, you'll have some bragging rights for everybody. So, all right, everybody, take care, be well, and I'll talk to you all soon. Ciao.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a podcaster. For me to live any other way was nuts. To me, those goody-good people who worked shitty jobs for bum paychecks and took the subway to work every day and worried about their bills were dead. I mean, they were suckers. They had no balls. If I wanted something, I just took it. I ran everything. I paid the bills. I paid the hosts. I even paid the masked maniac. Everybody had their hands out. Everything was for the taking. We always called each other good fellas. You would always hear from somebody. You're gonna like Don Tony. He's all right. He's a good fella. He's one of us. But if you're part of my crew, nobody ever tells you they're gonna get rid of you. It doesn't happen that way. There weren't any arguments or curses like in the movies. See, your haters come with smiles. They come as your friends, the people who've claimed they care the most for your life. And now that's all over. And that's the best part. Today everything is different. There's lots of action. I don't have to wait around for everything like everyone else. Oh, I didn't get the vaccine? Fuck you, vaccine me. Oh, your delivery guy has COVID? Fuck you, feed me. Right after I moved here, I ordered egg noodles and ketchup, and I got spaghetti with meat sauce. I'm no longer an average nobody, while they get to live the rest of their lives like a bunch of schnooks.